to my thing. So I teach the shutdown. I teach the emergency stop, the shutdown. And I make sure that all my students know how to do it, because if they're ever in trouble, they need to know where the emergency brake is. I don't know why it's not taught more often, but I've had that discussion enough times that I don't need to do it now. But so let's say we want to teach a horse to downward transition within a gait. So I need my horse to know through my body or through a rein cue or something that I want them to slow down. So I do it with a rein cue and my body. So the rein cue is kind of the support that turns into a gentle support later. Hopefully they just respond to your body. But what I do is I sit heavier on my pockets and I raise my left rein. And I don't always do it as a left rein, like later in like as they progress, they'll just recognize a rein has been lifted. So I'll lift, here's my reins. I'll lift my left rein like pinky to thumb. While you're teaching it, you might be more exaggerated, but once it's refined, you can actually just go like this and they'll know the difference, because you've also indicated with your seat what you're asking for. So if I'm going to ask my horse to go from a working trot to a jog, I'm going to sit heavy on my pockets. I'm going to, let's just say we're in the teaching phase. I'm going to sit heavy in my pockets. I'm going to think, stop. He just hit me with his tail. I thought something hit me. I'm going to think, stop. Like literally, I'm going to think, I want you to hoe. But I'm not going to say hoe. I'm just going to think hoe. And then I'm going to raise this rein like this. I'm going to do it exaggerated in the teaching phase. I'm going to keep that there for 3 steps. On the 3rd step, okay, if I did not get the desired speed, if I did not cause the horse to slow down to a speed that I'm looking for, I will then take this hand, grab the rein on this hand, run my hand down, and I will shut the horse down. Now I'll bend him to his girth. Once the horse has stopped moving his feet, I will take him I'll give him his head back. Once he stopped moving his feet, I'll give him his head back, and I'm still looking for that particular speed. So if I was, say, doing a transition within the walk, let's just do the transition. So a working walk to a slow grandpa walk. I call grandpa walk where each step is an individual decision. Okay, that's a grandpa walk to me. So I want my horses to understand that I can slow you down and ask you to do a grandpa walk. So, raise my rein, no response. 1, 2, 3, shut down. When I let him back out of the shutdown, I'm still looking for the grandpa walk. So I just said that was your physical definition. That was your physical support. Okay, and it was kind of unpleasant. So you're probably going to want to figure out what that meant first, or what that meant first, and then start to respond to that instead of me doing this. Because I gave them 3 indications of what I want them to do. Sit heavy, raise a rein, 1, 2, 3, shut down. When I let them back out, I want them to come back out of it in a, if not, you still have your heavy, from that stop, heavy, 1, 2, 3, shut down. You're only going to have to shut the horse down 3 or 4 times, in that case, because it's a little bit harder for them to learn than the hay. You're going to have to shut them down 3 or 4 times before they're going to start to pay attention to what happened first. What happened before you shut them down? What happened before you raised your rein? Okay, because the idea is you want them to respond to change in your seat. You want them to respond to the weight that you've changed in your seat. That's what you're actually looking for them to learn. But you're giving them ways to learn it. And you're making that third, oh, you didn't hear me? Crank the volume. You're making that third thing very loud and very unpleasant so that they tune in to the first 2 things. Tune in to the first thing. Once it's refined, but the trick is that you don't let them out of the shutdown and then take them back out to the rail and reestablish the walk to ask them to do it again. No. The shutdown has to mean something. The shutdown has to mean, now let's try again. Not, okay, so that's what I did. I just shut you down. Okay, and now we're gonna, so let's go over here. So you see how jumbled that can get for them? You want to be like, I asked you to slow down. Let's try it again. Once you get your 3 grandpa walks, 3 grandpa steps, then you turn them loose. You let them just walk on a loose rein. You let them kind of figure out what they just did. They'll lick and chew. They'll blow out. They'll lower their heads. They're going to do all kinds of stuff to let you know that they finally figured out that that was all supposed to mean something. If you just shut them down and then go back out on the rail for 5 minutes before you try again, you were just a jerk when you shut them down. You see, you were just a jerk when you shut them down. But if you shut them down and then still work towards helping them get the definition, then you're an educator. So I want to be an educator, not a jerk. So I try really hard to make sure that everything that I teach my horses is 100% done in a black and white fashion with no gray. And if you give them too much time between the word, the definition, and the response, if you give them too much time, if that window is too big, they will not learn. And when they don't learn, they get frustrated, you get frustrated, and you just look like a jerk.